When I turned 18, my family hit the jackpot. Dad struck it rich in business, and we moved into a huge mansion with a chauffeur and a maid. My younger brother was sent to study in the US, and he married a wealthy woman after graduation. Business boomed for us, but I caught a cold and missed my college entrance exams, and my parents married me off to an old farmer. Locked in a cellar and tortured daily, I barely escaped back home. My parents turned on me, saying, "Good for nothing. Why didn't you just die in those mountains?" My brother took me out to clear my head, only to push me under a truck. I was brought to the ICU with multiple fractures. While I was hovering between life and death, he whispered to me, "Just so you know, the family's wealth didn't come from business. It was all from the $100 million lottery you won. We cashed it secretly and kept you in the dark." I died bitterly, and my body was sold for $120,000 for a ghost marriage. Then I opened my eyes, and it was the day I bought the lottery ticket again. "Here's your lottery ticket. Hold on to it, might be your lucky day." Staring at the ticket, I felt dazed. I had been reborn, back to the day I bought that lottery ticket. The last time, my brother burst into my room and took that very ticket. I've always had bad luck and didn't think much of it, so I just forgot about the ticket. Shortly after, the family business thrived. We moved into a grand villa, and my family became the talk of the town. My brother went off to study in the US. I wanted to study abroad too, but Mom shut me down, saying, "You're a girl, eventually you'll marry. What's the point of studying abroad? Just a waste of money." But I was the top student in my grade. After buying that lottery ticket, my bad luck began. On the day of the college entrance exam, I was so sick that I fainted and failed the exams. My parents married me off to a rural old bachelor, who locked me up and abused me. I eventually escaped and returned home. Covered in bruises, I stood at the front door, only to be scolded by my parents. "Look at you, you shameful tramp. How didn't you die in the village?" My sister-in-law, adorned in jewelry, looked at me with disgust and said to my brother, "Is this really your sister? Worse than a beggar." Only my brother held me, saying, "Sis, you've suffered." He took me out for a break, and when the camera couldn't catch us, he pushed me under a fast-moving truck. I ended up in the ICU with multiple fractures. As I was dying, he leaned close in his fancy suit, whispering, "Just so you know before you die, our family's wealth isn't from business. We got it from the $100 million lottery ticket you bought. That's how I could study in the US. We owe it all to you." He paused and added with a cold smile, "But as long as you live, there's a risk of it being found out. What if one day you lose it and cause trouble? So Mom and Dad sent you to that village, told the folks to torture you. Never thought you'd escape though. But this time, you're going down for good. Rest in peace. We'll all be thankful to you." And with bitterness, I died. My body was sold off for a ghost marriage after my death. Thinking about my previous life, I clenched the lottery ticket tightly and swore, this time, I wouldn't let them steal that $100 million again. "Sis, I knew I'd find you here." I turned around to see my brother standing in front of me. His eyes lit up when he saw how tightly I held the ticket and reached for it. "Sis, what do you have in your hand? Is that a lottery ticket? Let me see." My brother Harry grabbed my hand with extreme greed in his eyes. When he couldn't pry my fist open, he kicked my leg. In pain, I accidentally let go. "Huh, I knew you hid the ticket." But looking down, he was puzzled to find my hand empty. "Where's the ticket? Where'd you hide it?" Harry looked at me, disbelief in his eyes, and searched me thoroughly, finding nothing. I rubbed my sore legs and said a bit pitifully, "What ticket? I just passed by the lottery shop. Didn't buy any ticket." Harry didn't believe me, searched me top to bottom, then hurried into the shop, grabbing the owner by the collar. "Who bought a ticket just now?" The owner, used to crazy customers, shook Harry off. "With so many customers in and out all day, how am I supposed to remember?" Harry wanted that $100 million ticket for himself, but it had been a while and his memory was fuzzy. He only remembered the first few numbers. Taking a moment to calm down, he glared at me. "You buy it. Pick the right one, or you'll pay for it." When he said that, I suddenly understood his behavior. Harry had also been reborn. To ensure a win, he followed me to the lottery stand to make sure I bought the ticket myself. Using the starting numbers he gave, I picked a ticket. Clutching it, Harry still looked unsure, his eyes darting at me, thinking I had hidden the ticket. At dinner, Harry was tapping his chopsticks anxiously. Mom, eager to please, piled food onto his plate. "What's the matter, son? Did someone at school upset you? I'll handle it for you." Dad, picking up on the tension, put down his bowl and asked seriously, "Yes, son. Did some classmate of yours look down on you again?" Satisfied with their attention, Harry leaned back, pointing at me and smirking. "She bought a lottery ticket and wouldn't show me." Mom and Dad exchanged a glance. Dad frowned first and yelled at me, "What's going on with you? I told you, as the older sister, you must look after your brother. What did you do now? Apologize to your brother." Mom sighed and, with her rough hand on mine, said gently, "Jessica, listen to your mom. Harry is the only son of this family. You need to learn to care for your brother." Feeling her touch, I shivered all over. It seemed like the outcome of my previous life was clear as day. My sister bought a lottery ticket, but wouldn't show it to me, and even lied saying she didn't buy one. "Mom, what should we do?" Harry looked at me provocatively. My dad slammed down his chopsticks. "Hand over the lottery ticket right now. You won't win anything anyway, so let your brother have some fun with it." Harry chuckled. "What if my sister won big, and now she thinks she's better than us?" My mom stood up and pushed me into a room, searching everywhere, not even sparing the lining of my underwear. "Jessica, where do you have it hidden? Hand it over now," she shouted at me angrily. My eyes were red as I said, "I told you, I didn't buy any lottery tickets, but none of you believe me. I only bought that one ticket that my brother has." Harry looked at me with suspicion, since he rushed here after being reborn, and didn't actually see if I went into the lottery store. Once the door was closed, I pulled the lottery ticket out of my hair. Luckily, I hid it there in time, so my family didn't find it. But now my room wasn't safe. I quickly took the chance while going to the bathroom to put the ticket in a sealed bag and stored it in the toilet tank. My brother took a few days off school and wouldn't give up, constantly rummaging through my room. I watched him calmly, not the least worried. My mom used the excuse of clothes shopping to go through my purse in the dressing room. They found nothing, of course, because I hid the ticket where they'd never think to look. The draw day quickly arrived. Just like my last life, my ticket won $1 billion. Soon, I'd be able to collect my winnings and make up for past regrets. Back from school, I sensed something was off at home. As soon as I stepped through the door, my mom slapped me hard across the face. My cheek was burning. If the toilet hadn't clogged, I wouldn't have found out you hid the lottery ticket there. She sneered, shaking the ticket at me. My brother looked smug. "I told you she had another ticket, and you didn't believe me." I dashed to the toilet tank, only to find it empty. My dad kicked me and threatened, "You think you've got wings now? Hiding this? Do you think you're some kind of lucky charm?" He sneered as he held the ticket, threatening to rip it in two. "Dad, no!" Harry screamed, rushing and grabbing Dad's leg. "You can't tear it. This ticket is worth $1 billion. $1 billion? Are you joking? Even if someone wins $1 billion, it wouldn't be your sister." Harry shouted, still shaken. "The draw already happened. This ticket won $1 billion. We can buy a big mansion, and this crappy house won't cut it anymore. Then I'll marry a rich girl." My parents couldn't believe it. They looked at the TV and were thrilled. "We're rich, we're rich." I picked myself up from the ground, tears streaming as I cried, "That's my ticket. How can you take it?" Mom's voice was sharp. "And the money you used to buy it, wasn't it from me? What are you yelling about? Let me tell you, not one penny of this $1 billion will go to you." They packed up and headed out to claim the prize, locking me in the room despite my cries. "See, sis, you really are a lucky star, buying $1 billion lottery ticket just like that," Harry taunted. "But this time, you'll watch us claim it. Regret it, suffer." They all left, and I watched them go, the pain on my face replacing with a smile. The show was about to begin. I took this chance to pack my things and rent a place to focus on my studies. While on the way, my brother FaceTimed me. His smug face filled the screen as he spoke in a low tone. "Sis, you were reborn too, huh? How does it feel? Too bad, in another life, you still can't beat me. You still have to watch as I grab this $1 billion. Don't even think about calling the cops. It won't work. We're family, your money is ours, and the cops can't say a thing." Feeling hopeless, If you're that desperate, maybe jump out the window now. Who knows, maybe you'll make it before us. They strutted off to the lottery center. Dad headed straight to the counter, announcing loudly, "We're here to claim. We're collecting the $1 billion prize." What? $1 billion? The place was packed on a weekend, with onlookers shocked. $1 billion? Is today's $1 billion prize really going to them? Wow, someone actually won $1 billion. Why couldn't it be me? The crowd grew as people paused to watch my family. Yes, we won $1 billion. My brother announced, waving the ticket around. Feel free to call the papers. You'll be headline news thanks to us. Oh, one more thing. Dad addressed the gathered reporters. Let's get something straight. In the middle of the crowd, Dad said, "This $1 billion ticket belongs only to us three. Jessica gets nothing. And from now on we're cutting ties with Jessica. After her college entrance exams, she's on her own." He ignored the buzzing from the audience and smirked at the owner. "Start the claim." The owner took the ticket, eyes wide with excitement, and then froze, examining it closely. Everyone around held their breath, waiting to witness the miracle of $100 million lottery draw. After what seemed like forever, the shop owner slowly looked up. "What's up? Something wrong?" The crowd started murmuring. "Didn't win?" "Won," the shop owner replied, "but it's just $10. $10? That can't be right. Did you make a mistake? Check it again. How could it just be 10? I was sure it was $100 million. Reluctantly, the owner checked it again. This time his voice was firmer. "It's just $10, no mistake. It's off by just one number from the winning ticket." My brother pulled out the lottery ticket I bought later, still hopeful. But it didn't win a thing. Does this family not pay attention? They're dreaming of getting rich. As if you could ever win $100 million, mocked the crowd. My mom realized what was happening and screamed, lunging at the shop owner, her manicured nails leaving red marks on his face. "No way. You rigged it." Cornered, the shop owner put the ticket numbers up on the big screen. "Look, the numbers are only one off." The facts were there. Our family stood there pale-faced, stunned. "No, wait." My brother suddenly yelled, pulling out his phone. "It's you. You screwed it up somehow." He yelled at me, "Just wait until we get back. We'll kill you." With laughter from the onlookers ringing in their ears, the three had no choice but to shuffle home. The house was empty. I had already left. They immediately started looking for me, staking out the lotto shop, afraid I'd sneak in to claim any prize. They forgot Harry was on a video call, and the mic picked up their scheming voices. My dad guessed wildly, "Did she really only buy that one ticket? I doubt Jessica got that lucky with a cheap pick." "No way." My brother's voice was crazed. "Something's off. She must have stashed it. I've got a plan. Jessica's waiting till after finals to claim her prize, right?" He laughed slyly. "When she goes, we'll nab the ticket. That's my boy, always so smart." Thank goodness finals were soon. I didn't expect anything from them. After I got into college, I planned to cut ties for good. Those 2 weeks flew by. Exam day arrived quickly. I packed my bag for the test. But then I heard banging on the front door and my parents yelling, "Finally, Jessica, we got you. You messed with us. Give us the real ticket or no finals for you." In my past life, I could have gotten into a top school, but lost the chance due to a sudden stomach issue. I never had stomach problems before. My only clue was the milk mom gave that morning. I left early this time, but they found me. Watching the clock tick by, I was beyond angry and clutched my phone to call the police. Before long, there was pounding on the door, and police streamed in. "Where's Jessica?" Ignoring my parents, they rescued me from the bedroom and got me to the test on time. I had all my documents and luggage ready. After the test, I went straight to a hotel. My phone was blowing up with messages and calls, all full of insults and pleas. I blocked them all. My parents panicked, trying to track me down through old classmates. I ignored it all, waiting for my acceptance letter. A few days later, at the lottery shop, a figure dressed in all black with a mask and voice changer, completely unidentifiable, walked in. "I'm here to claim my prize." "Who's this all dressed up? What did they win?" There was chatter among the crowd. My parents had been camping outside the shop. Seeing the masked person, they got crazy excited. "That's her. Finally coming for the prize." My brother rushed over first, hitting the black-clad person. Take off the act and hand over the ticket. This money's mine. My dad gave the person a few kicks, panting hard. Sorry everyone. This is our daughter who stole our ticket for herself. Jessica, the mask doesn't fool us. The black-clad figure cried out in pain and rolled on the ground as the family piled on. Eventually, the cops arrived to pull my family away. The person on the ground took off the mask to reveal a middle-aged man. He pointed at my parents, furious. I don't know these maniacs. They attacked me for my ticket. Officer, please don't let them go. My family was dumbfounded. You're not Jessica? Who are you? So where's Jessica? I saw it all on a live stream. Rushing to the scene, I shivered seeing the man on the stretcher. They mistook a middle-aged man for me. He was left with fractured bones and damaged organs. I shuddered to think what would have happened if it was me. Hate boiled in me. Seeing me unscathed, they raged even more. You planned this. This was your revenge, wasn't it? You're worse than garbage. A heartless animal. Get him, officer. Mom begged the police. Blame it on my daughter. We didn't mean to hit anyone. It's his fault. This jerk took our ticket worth $100 million. We had to come here to catch her. Didn't expect to hit the wrong person. Officer, hurry up and arrest her too, search her. The lottery ticket must be on her. The officer frowned. We can't mediate family disputes. Hearing this, a look of despair flooded my parents' eyes. Did you really not buy that billion-dollar lottery ticket? Actually, you guessed right. I bought 2 tickets that day, but that ticket was already cashed in, and $80 million has been transferred to my account. I carefully put on a mask, took out my phone, and showed them my bank balance. Seeing those zeros, my parents and brother finally broke down. My brother struggled fiercely, looking like he wanted to swallow me alive. Impossible. We were watching the lottery shop all the time. How could you have time to claim the prize? You must be lying. This number is fake. Suddenly he sneered. Oh, you're just getting back at us after dying unpeacefully. You photoshopped this to see us regret it. Dream on. I won't be fooled by you. That billion-dollar ticket wasn't bought by anyone. Just wait. I'm the billionaire. I'm the wealthy heir. I opened the mobile banking app and refreshed the page. My parents finally caved. It's real. There's really $1 billion. It's all ours. You're going to transfer the money to us, right? My mom looked at me with hopeful eyes. You're always the sweetest. You won't let me down, will you? I chuckled coldly and slowly spat out, no way. Think again. Didn't we already declare to cut all ties? We have no connection now. No. My dad howled, staring at me with a crazed look. What really happened? How did you claim the prize? Where did you hide the lottery ticket? I laughed and finally revealed the truth. I sent the ticket to my grandma. After I was born and my parents found out I was a girl, they dumped me with my grandma. By the time I was 10, they finally remembered me and took me home to take care of my brother every day. In the past life, I was trafficked to a village, and it was only my grandma who couldn't rest easy and looked everywhere for me. After my body was used in a ghost marriage, she spent her life savings to buy me back and bury me in my hometown, that I only have one truly trustworthy relative in this world. And that's my grandma. So I mailed the lottery ticket to her. My grandma claimed the prize and then wired the money to my account. My parents screamed as they were taken away by the police. Back home, I got an acceptance letter. In this life, not only did I get the billion-dollar lottery money rightfully mine, but I also got into the country's top university, making up for past regrets. Walking through the beautiful campus, I felt so relieved. The cloud over my heart had cleared a lot that I bought a house near the school and brought my grandma to live with me, even hiring a caregiver for her. Meanwhile, I also took finance-related classes and enrolled in numerous courses to learn about finance and investment. I didn't squander all that money. I first donated $10 million to charity and invested in real estate, having experts manage my assets to ensure they grow annually. After class back at the dorm, my roommates' looks were strange. Jessica, is what they're saying true? I was puzzled. My roommate showed me her phone. Look, these 3 people claim to be your family and posted on the campus forum, saying you stole $1 billion lottery ticket from them and cheated in exams, that I couldn't believe it as I looked at the photos and posts. My parents and brother injured someone and only served a few months. paying some medical expenses before being released. Afterward, they tracked me down through inquiries and came looking for me. The three of them stopped and wailed, grabbing everyone at campus and telling their stories, making my name infamous. So you heard about the rumor? She actually stole the lottery money. It's so shameless. Her mom raised her all these years, and it would have been better to raise a dog. At least a dog wags its tail, whereas an ungrateful snake just steals from home and turns away. Can the school expel her already? It's disgusting to share a school with such a person. The looks from classmates ranged from jealousy to disdain. Uncle, Aunt Jessica is right here. Then the class president's voice came. My dad, mom, and brother followed him into the classroom. They scanned the room and locked eyes on me. You ungrateful child. My dad knelt down sobbing. My mom ran up and swung a slap at my face. We're about to lose our water and electricity because we can't afford the bills. And you stole $1 billion to live comfortably. Are you trying to drive your parents to death? She turned to my classmates, raising her voice. Aren't you all educated college students? Is my daughter's behavior not unfilial? Shouldn't she be expelled? Seeing my bedraggled dad, furious mom, and teary-eyed brother, the surrounding students felt indignant. So uncultured. Hurry up and return the money to your parents. Someone even started a live stream. Hey everyone, have a look. Our school's so-called ingrate Jessica, found by her parents. Apparently, she stole $1 billion from home. $1 billion! The topic exploded with emotions, and viewers flocked to the live stream, while students filled the classroom to watch. I hadn't spoken a word. As the noise slowly died down, I raised my head, my voice icy. Yes, I did take 80 million, but it's mine. What? So arrogant. What's she mean hers? It's shameless. The ticket was bought by her family. As my mom tried to slap me again, I dodged. She'd been crying and acting for days, so she lacked strength and fell hard on her rear. Clutching her waist, she cried out, such ungratefulness. How dare you twist the truth? That ticket was obviously bought by your brother. I slowly replied, my brother? Is there any evidence it was him? My brother's eyes darted around, then he sneered and said, what are you pretending here for? Lottery tickets don't have names on them. When you snatched the ticket from me, that's exactly what you said. You even said that if you won, you'd spend it all on yourself, wouldn't share a penny, and leave our family in poverty and regret for life. What did we ever do wrong to you? My dad chimed in too. Our whole family treated you so well, bought you new clothes, fed and clothed you every day. If it weren't for our education, do you think you could get into such a good university? The onlookers nodded in agreement. Yeah, without such a good family and upbringing, how could she have gotten into a good college? Great family values. And now look at her being such an ingrate, acting so shamelessly. I feel so sorry for her parents. And it's $1 billion. Throughout history, brothers have turned against each other over money. Given the stakes, how she treats her family is not surprising at all. A crowd of students gathered around, pointing at me, some even yelling insults. I chuckled, is that really the truth? I walked over to the podium, plugged in the USB drive I had prepared into the projector. I played the recordings of their plan to steal my lottery ticket, the video of them locking me in a room during exams, and the news footage of the fight they started at the lottery office. My parents and brother went pale. This is all fake. But the students present could clearly tell the truth from fake. Their disdainful glances and words pierced at my family like arrows. How shameless. We saw how they snatched the lottery ticket from their daughter. And now they show up making a fuss. Do they think we're blind? You can't just twist public opinion with lies. My brother suddenly stood up, angrily shouting, spitting everywhere. Even if all this is true, in the end, shouldn't she give us some of the money? We're family after all. Yet no one paid him any attention. It didn't take long for security to escort them off campus. But they didn't give up. A few days later, my parents took me to court. This time, they didn't accuse me of stealing the ticket. They said I was being ungrateful and not fulfilling my duty to support my parents. Fine, we'll go by the standard for elder support. I agreed to send them $2,000 a month, the minimum requirement. This amount was nothing compared to the interest I earned, and it was nowhere near what they wanted. They kept suing, called the police, yet all they got were cold stares. My family developed bad habits, spending all their money on lottery tickets. They sold their house, cars, lost their jobs, and fell into debt from loan sharks. My dad, unable to repay the loan, got beaten, leaving his leg broken. Every day he'd drag it around, begging on the street. Any money kind-hearted strangers gave went to buying more tickets. Later, he even wanted my mom to work at nightclubs for more gambling money, leading to constant family fights. My mom, who'd been clever in trade in a past life, now saw an opportunity with my brother. She sold him to a family that lost their son. That family turned out to be abusive. They treated Harry horribly, torturing him till he was covered in wounds. Eventually, Harry could stand it no more. He tricked my parents into selling their kidneys, earning $20 million. Then he fled to another country. By day, I worked hard on my academics and stayed with grandma at night. Years later, I went abroad for further studies, networking while preparing to start my company. But I never expected to see my brother at my campus again overseas. Please believe me, you are really my fiancé. Someday, you'll marry into our family and have 2 kids with us. After class, a circle formed on the lawn. Harry, full of scars and missing an arm, knelt in front of a girl, clutching her leg desperately. I immediately recognized her. She was my sister-in-law from my past life. Previously, my brother met her at college, and they fell in love before getting married. I couldn't believe he smuggled himself to the States just to reconnect with his former love. The girl kicked him away impatiently. I don't know you. Get lost or I'm calling security. My brother kept pleading. I'm not lying. We really are a couple. If you don't believe me, I can tell you many personal stories and secrets. Like that mole on your foot, the time you fell down the slide when you were 6, and how you had 3 boyfriends before coming to the States. Isn't that true? The girl froze, her face darkening instantly. You actually had me investigated. Disgusting. She took out her phone and called the police. In no time, sirens blared. My brother's face changed and he fled in panic. Soon we moved into a mansion. I was scanning a room when a pair of eyes paused on me, stretching a trembling hand forward. Sister, is that really you? I turned to leave, but Harry caught my pant leg, kneeling and banging his head on the ground. Sister, you can't abandon me. I owe millions to loan sharks for coming to America. Please give me 10 million. 10 million for what? Because you screwed me over in 2 lifetimes? His eyes shifted quickly, then he urgently yelled, no. It's all Mom and Dad's fault. They're the real monsters. I sighed, pulled out my phone, and transferred him $1 million. His face lit up with brief joy. Then the realization hit as the loan shark took it all. Harry pleaded, sis, I beg you. Didn't you just say it's all Mom and Dad's fault? His eyes revealed sudden understanding. A month later, I read the news of him staging a car crash to murder our parents. They were crushed by a truck, dying terribly on the spot. My brother was arrested with evidence and sentenced to death. It said before he was executed, he was in his cell, endlessly cursing our parents and me, his sister. Then suddenly praying fervently, begging for another chance to get $1 billion. I turned off my phone. That girl across from me wasn't happy and called me out. Looking at your phone during a meeting? Who do you think you're disrespecting? I glanced at my business partner and smiled a bit. Sorry about that. Where were we? Done.